How's it going, guys? It has been a long time. I got some updates for you guys. First of all, got some rotiform wheels and some new Falcon Azenis FK510s for the rear and Falcon Azenis RT660s for the front of the MK7 GLI. Just got those put on today. Gonna try to get them on the car today as well. Got some BC Racing coilovers for the MK7 GLI as well. Beautiful looking. I'm trying to get a video of that going on, as well as I have DCC cancelers, because if you are aware, the MK7 GLI has DCC, so I have to delete that in order to go lower with the car. Otherwise, I will lose traction control, or traction control will always be on. I can't turn it off. No more drive modes in the car. I think ABS gets messed up too, but I'm not 100%. Yeah, so I will get back with you guys when I unload these wheels and then get the MK7 back to my house, get it on some jack stands, and we can start putting the coilovers on. Well, we got the MK7 in the garage. Obviously, there's not a lot of room going on in here. I do not have a whole lot of room. It's raining outside. I would just do it in the driveway, but this will work for now. Just gonna do one side, or one corner at a time. If I have to move the car, I gotta move the car, but first things first, I gotta take the wheel off, and then I'm gonna do the I have a lug stud conversion kit, which I'll show off here in a second, so we'll get there in just a minute. Alright, so I got the wheel off. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the DCC sensor here, or unplug it just like so, and we're gonna slide it out just like that. And now that is all free of the shock. I'm just going to put it out of the way here. I have done coilovers before on my Mark IV. So if it's the same, which it should be, it's got the same style rear suspension. What I'll have to do is I'll have to take off this shock, which will then allow the whole control arm to come down, and I can get the spring out, put the new spring in, put the new shock in, put on the DCC canceller, and I should be good on the backside here. But we'll see. I'm going to have to adjust the camber a little bit, and yeah, we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I got the factory shock out, the factory spring out, and I'll show you guys exactly what tools I used. I just had a little hammer. I didn't really use it. I kind of just used it just to tap on the head of one of the bolts, just to make sure it wasn't like seized up or whatever. Then this one was an 18. You'd have two 18 millimeters, or these are 17s, sorry, my bad. 17s, they were up top, holding the top of the shock in. Then these right here are 18s. The nuts on the bolts that go through here and here, you have to take those out. It'll make this whole like assembly loose here. And then also it's the same for the bottom of the shock. I had a 19 just for my spring compressor, which you shouldn't need, but I did it just to make the coil come out a little easier. There's my 18. I had a ball joint swivel to get in on the back side, and 16, I believe. Yeah, 16 there. And then this does have DCC, so I took off the linkage back there, which was this 2 T20 head. Little tiny bolts, you can see them back there. And then I was able to push down on the lower control arm here and pull the coil spring out. Guys, so I got this whole side on and good. The DCC canceller's on. I will show that right now. There it is. It just hose clamps around the side, plugs back in. I'm going to get a zip tie and zip tie this bundle together. I haven't adjusted the coilovers yet. I did end up taking the fender liner out. Those bolts are going to be a pain to do without the fender liner in, or with the fender liner in, so I took it out. The ride height sensor's back installed. Other than that, we're good to go. I do have a stud conversion kit I'll be putting on, hoping that the studs don't stick out too far and hit the caps of the rotiform wheels. So we will see, praying, hoping, hopefully. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Well guys, I got the lug stud conversion on and put the wheels on, and they look great. The only thing that does have to happen is I have to take it in for an alignment and get, well, first of all, you're going to want an alignment with the new suspension, but I'm going to have them pull in the camber just a little bit. And then she should sit nice down. Probably go down another inch maybe, give or take. But yeah, I mean, it already lowered it quite a bit. It's not bad at all. I mean, I honestly would, think about driving it like that. I do have rear mud flaps to put on because obviously it sticks out a lot in the back. But yeah, I'm going to go on to the other side. Okay, so we got the back two on. Obviously it's jacked up so it doesn't look how it's going to look. I decided to pull it out of the garage. It's way too cramped to do the fronts in there. But I had the wheel off, and then I took this part of the weather strip off, this foam mount, and then you can get to these three 13mm bolts up top. Okay, so unfortunately I did not get a video of the fronts after the one clip I recorded. It started downpouring, and anytime I tried to record, my phone would wig out with the rain on the screen. But I did get it all installed. I'll go through the steps here in a second. As you can see, I got it installed. I just put the camera just sitting behind the wheel. There we go. Yeah, they're all installed. The RT660 is looking good. Basically, the front was, it was really easy. I can go through the steps. So what I did first was I went down. Obviously, you take the wheel off, and I took the sway bar links off. That is first step, at least what I did first step. Sway bar links. And then I took the tie rods off. Basically, the whole spindle assembly has to basically drop down so you can get the old strut out. So tie rods, sway bar links, and then the ball joint. There's three 16mm if I remember right for the ball joint. Tie rods an 18, and the sway bars also 18s, I believe. So there's those three, and then you need to take the axle nut off, which was like a 24. No, is it 27 or 24? I can't remember. 12-point socket. And then after you get that, was a pain to get out. So just be aware. Obviously, if you have it jacked up, the car jacked up, the wheel will be drooped down from the suspension unloading. So what I had to do is I had to put the car on a jack stand, lift the car up, put it on a jack stand, and then put the jack underneath the control arm and get the CV axle straight, parallel with the transmission to the spindle assembly. That way it would the axle would slide back in the cup. And then it was a lot easier. I sprayed some WD-40 in there, and then I was able to actually just get it to pop in, and then pull the whole assembly out. And then you're gonna need. I made my own strut spreader. But, it didn't really work the best. I would recommend just getting the actual tool online. It's pretty cheap. But then you'll need to spread open the knuckle there. And then I sprayed some WD-40 in around the strut. And then I just used a little hammer and I tapped. And the whole spindle will drop out. The strut will be hanging there. But then you have to take this off here. Just like this foam piece. And then this rubber I don't even know what you'd call it, but you gotta take that off, and then you gotta take these three off here, and then the whole strut will pop out the bottom, and then it's just rinse and repeat with your new coilovers. Slap them up in there. Just do it backwards. Put the coilover up and in, put those three bolts in. Line up the spindle, lining up everything. You gotta do it all at the same time. Line up everything. As far as the axle, the strut, you gotta do at the same time. Put the axle in with the strut started and kind of just go up, and then set it in the ball joint. 3 bolts, put them on. Then you got your tie rod you can put on, your sway bar link you can put on, and then you're off to the races. Then put your wheel back on. Other than that, you're good to go. It wasn't hard at all. I'd 100% recommend it. think I got a little clip, a little bit of a roller of it riding. I'll post a picture of it too. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm not sure what's next, to be honest with you guys. Probably be a video on the Mark IV that's all tore apart over there. Good and bad news on that. So I'll see you guys on the next one.